Whoa, a carrot deferred on Facebook. Okay, hey guys, how are you?
Hey.
We're just have to. Here we go. We're alive
There we
now
go.
on all
We are
formats. On
There
all
we go.
formats. Welcome, Rick. You're dressed appropriately.
I know.
Our first Falcon and Winter Soldier live after show. So
We're
we
talking
both
straight
watched
up.
the first episode, haven't we, Rick?
Mate, we are like literally straight after it ended. We are right here, right now.
Yeah. Well, let's be, we're not mucking around. And and in Australia, well, we're in Australia watching it, so usually this stuff comes up about 6 o'clock or 6:30. Well, it's 6 o'clock Australia Eastern Standard Time, which is, but yeah, it come out a little bit earlier, which I wasn't aware of. So, but as soon as I saw it was on Disney Plus, it was available to watch. Click. I'm straight
Bang.
on that. So
Away we go.
straight on that. So we've seen it. We've both watched the first episode. Wow, Rick. We are, before we start giving away what we think of the show, we are spoiled. We are living in a very spoiled time.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I just come off the back of watching a 4-hour Justice League, which we'll start discussing on Monday's show, remember?
Yes.
But this is all about Falcon and Winter Soldier, and
yes, it is.
the level, before we even get into the plot, the level of quality that they're putting into these shows, Rick. I mean, this is film quality.
This is, film
watching quality. We cannot argue. This is at the same level as a Marvel Studios theatrical release.
I didn't feel like I was watching a TV series. I feel like I was watching a movie.
Yeah, and it kicked straight into
it. Did.
Yeah, I mean, first off, literally, I love the opening of it.
Mm-hmm.
I really did. I thought it was had a bit of heart to it, because it was basically,
and that kind of flowed through the whole.
Oh, there's a lot of heart.
Well.
That episode, absolutely.
Yeah,
but that action scene, mate, where we see Falcon doing his thing.
He's
clearly working for the government as a special operations and away
Air Force.
Yeah, what an incredibly well-crafted action scene that was too. I loved seeing him and his what am I calling?
The Red Wing.
Oh, it was so cool to see Red Wing go hard. So, and just their relationship, how they work together. It was like I said, it was a scene that you would see out of a Marvel cinematic movie. Like it was so well executed.
It was good because we don't get to see how the rest of his suit works. Because normally when we see him in all the other movies, he's flying, people are shooting at him, whatever. Here you see a little bit more, which is really, really cool.
Where he had a problem.
He folded his wings around. There was, it was really good. Yeah, loved it. So good.
Yeah, but that's not the best part of the scene.
No.
What's the best part of that scene, Rick? I'll tell you mine.
Yeah, what was yours? What was yours?
The return of Balrog the Leaper.
Ah, yes, the Frenchie.
America, the Winter Soldier. He's still up to no good, that guy. And he was part of that terrorist group,
Frenchie, Yeah.
I still don't understand why, because I've only seen it once. It's just come off. Do you know why they were trying to grab that guy? Why was that guy so important to them?
Who was he?
Like the prisoner. It was the whole scene is built around getting that prisoner. But I missed
over the border.
The importance was. So if anybody's watching and they can fill us in what that was about, why that character, I'd love to know. But there was a lot. There was a lot to this episode. There was a lot.
There was a lot happening in that one scene. There was a lot happening. Just the way they shot that, even with when they put those parachute wings that they were on, and they were jumping out of the plane and then back into the plane, and then it was so good.
It was a really clever.
It was
that, like when he flies into a chopper at one point.
Yeah, and he backs off, and
but
so good.
It's got to be said, he's flat out killing dudes in that scene.
Yeah,
there's a pretty high body count in that scene. I was watching it and going, well, Sam's just killing people now at this point.
He's out there. That's it.
Yeah. No, it was pretty insane to see, and it's good that they put an action scene right up the front, because for the rest of the episode, it felt very much a personal drama.
Yep, and I think they needed to do this. I think it was appropriate the way they did it, and definitely.
Because what we do is, really the episode, without giving it away, is it's really about seeing where Sam is. with himself and his family. And the ramifications of obviously, and it was a great point, when he's at the Smithsonian and he's handing off the shield, right? He decides to hand off the shield.
Almost teared up in that scene. Yeah, very emotional.
He makes a comment that millions of people just came back.
That's right.
Overnight, and it's caused anarchy across the globe. And of course, that makes sense. That's what would happen. So, it's like, I think it's an interesting way for them to go down, and obviously we get to see Rhodey in there as a cameo.
Yeah, he's back. Yeah.
And Rhodey's asking the question is, Sam, why didn't you take the mantle? Which is pretty full on. And it was good to see him back in little Louisiana with his sister and that whole storyline of, the problems they're going through. They can't get a loan.
So that's right. Yeah. She survived the blip. She was living for 5 years trying to keep the business afloat. Yeah. No pun intended. It's a boat. And he's, out there fighting and protecting the world.
Their relationship is complicated between him and his sister. Certainly they've got some things going on there which they'll explore, but almost felt like she had a bit of resentment against Sam in those early episodes where he's fighting hard to keep the family business going. But she's kind of resigned herself to the fact that it's over.
Yeah.
And absolutely.
How good was that scene in the bank? They're trying to get that loan. He's trying to, he didn't want to say that he was, the Falcon.
Yeah, but he's trying to leverage his situation.
And
it's also a really good scene to explain to the audience how things are going globally. Like, it's very hard to get your life going again, and obviously all these people back, put more pressure on society. The banks are probably a bit overwhelmed because they would have written off all these billions of dollars and now they've kind of got to meet their obligations. Yeah. And then we go to a great little opening. Our introduction to the Winter Soldier was fantastic. Yeah. It was absolutely brilliant, Rick.
Good old Bucky.
And it was a scene based upon him being the Winter Soldier. So he's in that hotel and, mate, he's executing dudes left, right, center. Again, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, mate, they are killing people in this episode, which is pretty fun.
Right. He did the
and there's that Asian guy's really nervous and he can't get the key. And
I know.
Obviously he goes and shoots him and he wakes up from a dream. And you can see that Sam, he's really struggling, the Winter Soldier. He really is.
Well, he's seeing a therapist. That's part of
he's mandated to see a therapist. That's part of he's got 3 rules that he's got to abide by, which is a great little scene where he takes control of that car. And he's supposed to be not involved in stuff like that. He's not allowed to hurt anyone.
He's got 3 rules.
I can't remember what the third one was, but it's very clearly laid out. But he's really struggling. He's really struggling emotionally because you remember he is now, as he says in the episode, he's been fighting one war after another for 90 years. For 90 years. And he's having to wrestle with the demons of the fact that he's executed so many innocent people over that time. While he was under control of Hydra as the Winter Soldier. So it's pretty crazy.
Because he said
sorry?
There you go. Yeah, what he said, because all he had was peace at Wakanda. That's when he had peace. At that time, he was that was it. And then now he's back fighting again. So it's a lot for him.
Now he's just trying to find a normalcy. That's what I felt. And we see that obviously that scene where he's talking to the older gentleman. And he has a great little scene at the restaurant where he gets a date for that night and all that. But what we come to realize, and I thought made sense, was that he had befriended that Asian guy that got executed. That was his father that he's friend with. Yeah. So for him, that's him trying to make amends.
Yeah. He's got that list of people.
Did you notice some names on there, didn't you?
And the top was on there. So he's crossing the list off. So Very interesting. We'll see that come out to play a bit more.
It became very much a drama, that most of that episode in the end. It really did. So, it really was focused on being a show that, wanted to set the stage of where things are, not only globally, but what's happening with Sam, what's happening between the two, and where
they're not talking to each other. They're not.
Not well, as I said, Sam's
reached out,
but he doesn't want to really.
Shut him out.
Bucky's just not Mr. John Barnes, isn't it?
Yeah,
Bucky Barnes. Yeah. Bucky's really struggling with associating with anyone really at this point. So they're really at a dark place.
What did his therapist say? Oh, you don't even have 10 numbers in your phone. So. And it would be, I mean, he's 103 years old and he's in this world and trying to adapt to have a normal life.
Yeah, 100%.
And you could see it when he was when the old man, because you should ask her out, and then he asks her out, and then he's like, "Oh no, but there's a dance to this, you got to charm him and all that. I've been doing this since 1954," and then he comes in with the flowers. It was so good, I just.
But again,
really
goes real dark real quick because she starts to talk about the tragedy of that old man. Yeah, and he bails on the date, of course, and
that's when you find out.
What did I think as the first episode, though? I mean, which has, by the way, before I give you my opinions on the episode, a real great little last 1 or 2 minutes that last final scene where we get to see that the US government has taken the shield from the Smithsonian, which Sam had donated, and has now issued to a brand new Captain America. Yeah, and that's how the series ends. We get to see this guy winking at the camera because he's now the new Captain America, which is pretty. Do you know who he is? The actor is. It's Wyatt Russell. Do you know who Wyatt Russell is?
Kurt Russell's
kid. Yep.
Okay.
So it's great. Awesome. So again, the show had a great action. Had a couple little bit of action scenes, but primarily I found this film to be very serious, very dramatic, very. I felt like it was missing some of the Marvel lightheartedness. There was a little bit of humor there.
There's a little bit in there, yeah.
But I'm really excited of what this is going to set up. Yeah. As a first episode, it's a great lead-in. Yeah. So I would say if I have one criticism, maybe it would have been good for them to drop 2 episodes for the first time.
Like they did with Wanda,
Yeah, I thought it might have been. I would have liked to have seen the next episode straight away.
But I mean, there's only 6 episodes in this one. There's only 6. Is that right?
Yeah, 6. Yeah, which 6. It's still the same running time as WandaVision.
Yeah,
they got longer episodes. So
yeah.
So and we have a Falcon and Winter Soldier first episode where those two do not meet.
No, that's right.
Yeah. They do not meet. So, what are your thoughts, Rick? How did you think about
it? I really enjoyed it. Like you said, you had that action at the beginning, which was fantastic. That scene, and they placed it really, really well. And that's what Marvel do well. And they set everything up. And because we needed to know, this was set after Endgame. We needed to know because the last time we saw him was that end scene there with Cap. He gets the shield, and then that's it. But what are they doing after?
Well, the other thing is, in that scene, Rick, from Endgame, these guys had no time to really deal with what had happened because both Sam and Bucky were dusted.
That's right.
They were gone, and they came back at the end of the fight, and then literally the day after is the scene where they catch up with Captain America. So there's a lot of baggage to deal with in that story.
So it's interesting to see why have Sam and Bucky not speaking to each other? Why have they separated? It leaves a lot of questions, which is good. It's just leading up to it.
Well, it's interesting because what would have happened? You know what I mean? Like the fact of the matter is, even though the Avengers and the Wakandan people like Black Panther that had gone right, well, we're going to fix the Winter Soldier. We accept that he wasn't in full control. Is the world ready to accept that? And the government has pardoned him. But obviously, like we said before, he's under very strict guidelines and rules. So it's a great first episode. It's absolutely. Fantastic. I mean, again, it's just, you're getting that quality. If you watch the credits too, and and you see, they got the same guy who did this, Henry Jackman, fantastic composer. He's back composing. It's run by a top level kind of guy. It did have the Russo's feel to it. It did feel like very much a Captain America spin-off.
Yeah, especially going through that Smithsonian scene. That was quite that felt like that for me.
Did you notice they had the first issue of Captain America comic book as part of that?
In those pictures, that collage of
further
pictures
down
of
the screen, So
looking at all the fallen names and and then
I'm missing one major part of it, Rick. We're missing one major part of it. We got to see that Sam's army offsider, a guy we hadn't met before, who they were having a conversation in Tunisia, is investigating a terrorist group.
Yes,
a random terrorist group. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Something flag.
But they've got the black mask with the red handprint on there. But that scene when they all meet up, I think it's in a European, is it London or somewhere? Man, I just watched this show. You think I'd be better at remembering this stuff, but
it's like a flash mob. It's like a flash mob.
It's like a flash mob.
Hands out all the masks, and then he's like, "What do we do?" And then you just see the two bags come out of the window, and some guy just jumps straight down like he's got
superpowered guy. Guy's got abilities.
Superhero jump. So,
well, if I was a betting man, I would say he's one of the Winter Soldiers, because you remember, from Civil War, there were multiple soldiers in that program.
That's right.
So maybe one and got through. Clearly, he's got to be a bad guy. You know what I mean? And Sam sees that footage when he has that Zoom call with him, and they're thinking it's Bucky, but we obviously know it's not Bucky.
No,
he's not doing this. No way. So
no,
it was a well set up episode, a great introduction into getting back into that universe. And like I said, we've been very spoiled, Rick. I mean, we had WandaVision, which went, some really interesting places. And like I said, I've only come off last night watching a 4-hour epic. So now to be thrown with this, I just feel so lucky that we're getting such quality material again. But this promises to be really great. Really,
you can see this is going to be that A quality all the way through. Definitely. Like I just looking forward to it.
Where do I think the series is going to go? It's obviously going to deal with Zemo. He's going to be the big bad villain. I think essentially, though, for me, the series is really about people overcoming pain, trauma, and then taking responsibility for their mental life. And that's what I think the theme of the show is. And I think that's what the theme of the Falcon and Winter Soldier is going to be all about. It's Sam recognizing that he has to take responsibility and take the mantle. And I think it's about Winter Soldier discovering that he has a life now and he has opportunity to let the past go and move forward. And I think that's what the theme of the show. And I could be wrong, and they're my early predictions. I think we are going to see Rhodey back again later on in the series. I don't think he's just in one episode. I think we're going to get him back. Excuse me. I think, Agent 13, we know she's in the cast. She'll return as well.
She will be.
Yeah. So, look, it's going to be I don't think it's going to be because you know what, with WandaVision could wash over you. Like, there's not a lot of... You don't have to think about or concentrate a lot what's going on with that show. But I do think this show, you're going to have to pay attention. You know what I mean?
It's different thought process. Different thought process with, WandaVision.
Well, WandaVision for me wasn't hard to absorb. And then your thought process was, are they going to do this? Are they going to do that? Are they going to go this? But I think this is going to be a lot around politics and corruption and crime.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's what you're going to have to concentrate on, Maybe not the characters as much, but the situation and the plot itself, Because, it's interesting that first episode, generally in films, mate, and TV shows, you introduce your antagonist and your protagonist in very early on. So you establish a good guy and your bad guy. I felt like they established the good guys, but
we haven't
don't
really
know if we've got the ultimate, because Zemo's not super powered, you know.
No,
well, not that I know.
Not that we know of. We don't know.
Jeez, I hope they don't go that pathway. That would be horrific, Rick.
If they make he was powered. He was perfect the way he was in
his superpower was he was able to manipulate control situations.
That's right. That's right.
And that was his strength. That's what made him so powerful. He just turned heroes against
and that's what he did.
He didn't have to raise the fist.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's two best mates fight. So
yeah, it's definitely. It really feels like a true sequel to Endgame and Civil War.
Yeah.
As a combination. So it's so great to be back in this world, Rick. It's great.
Oh, and it's so good to, like you said, we've been, just come off of WandaVision and then we're just straight into this as well.
Well, we had a week off.
But yeah, well, it didn't feel like it.
We didn't have a week off. We did the making of, but yeah,
which was great. But coming into this and it's something that you really look forward to, because we've been hearing about what's happening for a couple of years now. They were going to develop these shows and all that. And
well, this was supposed to be first out of the gate.
The first one. That's right. That's right.
Initially, this was going to be first and WandaVision second. So it's interesting to see now that they've kind of gone this way. So. Do you think there's a risk of the audience becoming MCU fatigued?
You mean too much? Just overload of MCU?
Yeah. I mean, there's a possibility. I mean, we're hitting a big year. There's so much content coming out. Do you think the people are going to get used to all this content and the viewership's not going to be as high?
Possibly. Look, if you have your diehard fans who just appreciate this stuff, and then you've got those other people who casual who just like, oh, Marvel, I've got Disney Plus, I just want to jump on and watch it. And I think they'd still sustain that momentum throughout.
Well, I think the strength of this series is based upon that universally, whatever people think of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the Captain America and the Winter Soldier is an extremely well-loved film. Yeah. Even beyond the Marvel fan. And same as Civil War. So I think we're going to have a big audience for this,
Was that in your top five? We did a top five, didn't we? Was that in our... Was that?
It would have been. Winter Soldier would have been one of my ones. It still remains that case too.
Yeah.
Because I think Infinity War being the best Marvel film I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I think so. When you look at the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I just don't know if there's a better film in there. I mean, I love the Avengers, but the Avengers Infinity War, the way it ended, the fact that Thanos, which was a CGI creation that held that film together, and what an amazing performance. That film works. There's not a bad beat in that film, Yeah. But yeah, Winter Soldier, Civil War, Captain America, the first one, the first Avenger. These are all great films. But it's interesting, this Falcon and Winter Soldier, it's the first time we're dealing with the Captain America universe without the Russo brothers. No, actually, I should say, the Russo brothers came from 2 sequel, and obviously Joe Johnson did the original. Let's say for the writers, McFreely and the other guy, who have written all the content beforehand. So it's interesting because we've got new people on board taking that mantle. Yeah, putting a different kind of their thoughts on it. I mean, you can't steer away too much from the look and the feel because, that's what we love about the Captain America movies. It's that espionage, that military, that geopolitical feel that the show brings to the table is just phenomenal. What are your predictions? Where do you think the show's going to go, Rick?
Look, we know where it's, we know they're going to look more into more so Falcon side of things. We get to see more of his history and how he's coping with things and obviously taking that mantle like we discussed last week. I think they're going to be heavily focused on that. I love the fact that they've gone back to their roots, I guess, their home roots. Bucky's gone back to Brooklyn, where they were both from, him and Cap, and that's where they grew up. So they had that home feel to it, which was great. But
Sam in Louisiana.
It's Sam in Louisiana. Yeah, that's right. And we get to see a little bit more about his life because we don't really know much at all. Really,
we didn't know he had a sister. We didn't know his parents were dead.
He had a business.
I did love that bit with his sister's kids come running up to him, going, "Uncle Sam, Uncle Sam." I thought kind of a nice little.
And they had the name of his parents on the boat. So we got to see that little bit. And you have that connection with that because everyone has that sort of.
What does that boat represent? Because as we know, his sister is willing to let that go at this point. She feels
he's not. He's not.
So the boat actually represents something else, doesn't it?
So there's something else that's not right there.
Well, the boat represents. It's a symbol of him not wanting to let go and move forward. Because Sam's scared. I mean, at the end of the day, he's scared. He doesn't want to evolve. I think he's still struggling with the loss of Captain America, and I think the reason he keeps the boat around and he's fighting for it so hard because he wants to hold on to the past. He needs to let go of the past to move forward.
He's already lost his best mate, and he doesn't want to lose, something else. Like obviously, Cap meant a lot to him, and he doesn't want to lose that boat because that's obviously family, and that he
doesn't want to move on. Well. He doesn't want to move, like I said,
exactly right.
And hence that also plays into the fact that Winter Soldier, his attempt to reconnect with Bucky. He's trying, but Bucky's not ready yet. So
he's not ready. He's too busy online dating.
But you haven't answered my question, Rick. Where do you think the series is going to go?
Oh, look, it's hard to say, really, for me. I think as a whole, I just see it going down more of a not a political side. I don't think they're going to do a lot of political stuff in this. To be honest with you, I don't think this is just my theory. I think they've covered a lot of that, in a lot of the other movies which they've done. I think they're going to change it up. I think they're going to change it. It's going to go in a different direction than what we think it's going to go.
Well, like I said, I think it's. I don't know if it will. I think it will be actually very geopolitically heavy.
I could be wrong. I mean,
you brought a new Captain America that's been sanctioned by the US government. We're in political territory there. And I also believe at the end of it, the Falcon will accept the mantle of the new Captain America.
Oh, we know.
That's my bet. That he will eventually take the mantle. There won't be any twists or turns. That'll be that. So,
and then he goes up, moves on, and there's no.
So he becomes the new Captain America.
Yeah. Well, in the comics,
and I think the USA. Look, okay. Here's a question for you, and we'll tie it up soon because we're getting to our half an hour mark. We don't want to spend hours on this. Will Hydra is Hydra still around? And B, would Hydra make a return in this series?
I think Hydra's still around. I think just because you've said you've dispersed Hydra, they are still around. They're still in the shadows. They're still in the crowds. They're everywhere. All right. So we definitely see Hydra come out of the woodwork.
And that's why I think we'll discover that US agent is actually a Hydra plant.
Is a Hydra agent. Well, yeah. So
I love guessing this shit because we were so wrong on the last series. So it's fun to kind of guess where it's going to go in this one.
Well, how many fan theories were there that came out that just blew the internet with what was going to happen? And you're right. I think we should just enjoy this series for what it is. Don't worry about all the fan theories. Just enjoy it for what it is.
Well, I love fan theories as long as you, as a person who reads them, understand that they are just that.
Yeah.
They're not the truth, and you shouldn't be upset if it doesn't happen.
Exactly. Like, I'm
going to be upset for what it is, like you're saying.
Like, I'd love to see the Hulk come in and smash something up. It's not going to happen. You know what I mean? All these different fan theories, but we might see a cameo of someone.
Well, I think, like I said, you'll definitely get Don Cheadle back for sure. We obviously know we got Agent 13. Maybe another Avenger pops into it, but who have you really got in that world that you would expect to pop up in this show?
Well, that's right.
You're not going to have Thor in it.
No, but like you said, we might have a cameo of like a flashback scene, maybe like I think we discussed this.
We have privately.
With you think with
Chris Evans.
With Chris Evans as a flashback.
I don't know.
That could work. It could work. It could, depends how dark and deep they go.
Sully's the way they ended that character.
No.
And by the way, Kevin Feige come out the other day and just completely shut down any rumors Chris Evans is returning. He is not.
Yeah.
And again, I think it's smart for the next phase.
Which is great. Yeah.
Well, let's give these guys their moment to shine. Well, Rick, that was really it. Do we have any comments tonight? We had Carson,
Carson.
Go Sam and Bucky. I'm with you, Carson. Go Sam and Bucky. That's absolutely
best MCU series ever.
Nice. What's that? Best MCU series ever, and like Carson's all over. Best lives after show ever.
Oh,
like, Carson, good work, buddy.
No.
Good work. So, all right, let's tie it up, Rick. That was our first after show. Of course, same time every week. We're going to be doing this. We're going to be discussing every show, getting into the nitty-gritty. We want you people to get on board. If you're seeing this after the live show, same time every week, guys. And we want lots of chatter, all right? We want to be talking about this, not just between me and Rick, but with all of you as well who are watching.
Jump in as well, guys. That's right.
Yeah. This promises to be a really interesting show. So, guys, and the other thing.
Monday night.
We're launching our new... And let's give them maybe I'll even do this live in the show. Let's give them a bit of a tease that we're launching into the Justice League chapter breakdown. So what this show is going to be about is there are 6 chapters and an epilogue in Justice League. And what we're going to do every week for the next 7 weeks is that we're going to be talking about each chapter on its own because I've seen it, Rick hasn't yet. A dense movie, and definitely deserves the attention in breaking down everything with Justice League. So for the next couple of months, you've got this on a Friday night with us with the Falcon and Winter Soldier live after show, and then on Monday nights we do Justice League talk. So it's going to be a fun ride. So strap on your kids, get involved, and we'll see you guys Monday night. Say goodbye to them all,
guys. See you guys. Thanks a lot. We'll see you then Monday. Bye.